welcome back to Secondhand Blasters. This is Normatico here. And you know what, folks? So the other day I was actually scrolling through Reddit, you know, the internet's front page, and I saw on one of the, I think it was the foam flinging subreddits, a question was posed that what was the blaster that you were most looking forward to, and what was the biggest letdown? You know, my answer, of course, was the Accustrike Falconfire. A lot of people have really enjoyed the Accustrike series. I think that they look cool. The promise of them is fantastic. You know, they are accurate with the Accustrike darts. Personally, I would rather deal with the darts than with the actual blasters themselves. I was really looking forward to the Accustrike Falconfire. I thought it was really cool looking. The idea of just the one shot, the internal breech load was really neat to me. So I was really looking forward to it. You know, the profile was really sharp, had 2 dart storage, and, you know, it seemed like a, how can I say it, a more mature looking, you know, type of blaster, kind of like a Nightfire minus the laser. Anyways, when I actually got my first Accustrike Falconfire, and I say first because I now have 2 of them, I was not impressed with it. Not at all. I did a mod on it, an upgrade, and you know, it went from being to a how can I say this? It went from being a disappointing blaster to being a wow, okay, that's cool. So I was really excited, and I wanted to actually have the chance to try it again. But this time to see if I can actually push the limit a little bit more. I am waiting on an upgrade spring to actually come to me. However, in the meantime, I wanted to go ahead and show you what the performance of the Falconfire is stock compared to what I have, but I had to get a new stock Falconfire. Now, one of the things about the Falconfires is that when they were released, I believe that they were around $25 new in box, and $25 for what I got, I'll admit, it sounds really good at first, but then you're like, okay. You can find them on eBay, sometimes dirt cheap. If you're lucky, you can actually find them on the Facebook Marketplace, sometimes in bundles. It's one of those things. It's hit or miss with the Falconfire. On eBay, sometimes you'll find them for like $20, $23. Amazon, I've seen them as high as $48. Again, I don't know what some of the people on Amazon are thinking, because this is not a $48 blaster. However, on Walmart.com, there was an actual third-party seller that had dropped the price down to $9.99 new in box. So I went ahead and actually snagged that because for $9.99 new in box, I'll take it. Plus, it gives me some Accustrike darts. That being said, here's the box. So you do see that it is an open box item. It's not one of the series boxes like they use with the larger blasters. It does come with 6 of the Accustrike darts, which is 3 more than what the blaster actually holds, because it goes 1 in the breech, and then it holds 2 here. It is a top-loading blaster, and the darts are designed, according to this, for greater accuracy, as opposed to the standard elite darts. I do believe that the Accustrike darts, they are much more accurate. However, what you get with accuracy, you sacrifice for distance. So you're going to be more accurate, but you can only shoot a certain amount. Now, if I remember right, and mind you, when I got my first Accustrike blaster, it was used, it was secondhand, hence the name of the YouTube channel, Secondhand Blasters. This one I went ahead and wanted to get new just to see if the same thing would happen. Maybe it was a case that the spring just wore out, and that's all it needed. I want to go ahead and test it, and I'm actually going to do a range test with you all today, where we're going to compare and contrast both of the Accustrike Falconfire blasters that I have. I will also be doing later on a video once the new spring comes in, showing you how to turn this blaster into something that will really impress anyone who sees it. I certainly was impressed when I saw my new modified Falconfire, I should say my old modified Falconfire, I should say. When I saw that range that it could get on it, I was actually pretty impressed. So anyways, let's go ahead and see what's in the box. Alright, so straight up on the box, you know, it does say that it is for ages 8 and up. I when I modify it, it definitely will be for ages 8 and up. However, this thing is not powerful enough to hurt anybody stock. So I guess 8 and up is the standard for NERF, but if you give this a 6-year-old, they should be okay. It does not include the plastic-free packaging that is in the modern NERF era blasters. This is, of course, the original N-Strike Elite series, even though it's part of the Accustrike series, whatever. So, everything is packed in behind plastic. So let's go ahead and actually use our box cutters, cut through this plastic here. I see that one was already kind of open here, but that's fine. Everything else is still attached. Oh, there's one down here too. Probably can't tell, but from the angle that I have this in, it's a little bit weird for me to see these sometimes. So there's the actual blaster itself. It is a decent sized blaster. The grip itself, it's kind of hard, but it is comfortable, and you see the trigger there. We cocked that. That's a little stiff, but anyways. Now it does have a stiff trigger. You do need to pull a little harder than normal on this trigger compared to other blasters for it to fire. So it does have the targeting reticule right there that you can see. Maybe if we can get a focus, but anyways. So there is no tactical rail to be seen on the top, but there is one on the bottom. The top, there's no tactical rail because you have this priming handle. Of course, if you were trying to do it, attach a scope on here or even a light attachment, it would go into the, it would run into the way of the actual targeting reticule, the sight. You can go ahead and actually use a light down here. Of course, I've also seen other people actually put a second handle on here to make it almost like a small, like Uzi type thing. And this is a modifiable blaster. There are all screws in there. You can turn this into a Mayfly blaster if you'd like. I like to keep it stock to use the standard darts, only because of the fact that that way you can actually hide when you modify it. Just the fact that this is modified, and you can impress some people. Putting the blaster to the side for now. Next thing we have are the darts. So we're going to go ahead and actually cut this tape to the side open so we can peel open the box. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of excited that I get to do this because with my original, like I said, I picked it up secondhand, so I didn't get that fresh in the box feeling. We do have instructions here. Not like we really need instructions for this, but the instructions do tell you exactly how to prime it, how to load it, and how to store the darts. And like most of the instructions for Hasbro, it is written in multiple languages. Unlike this video, which is only English, I could try it in Spanish, but to be fair, even though I have fluency in Spanish, I am Puerto Rican, which means that Puerto Rican Spanish does not translate into Mexican Spanish, which does not translate into Colombian Spanish, which does not translate into you get the picture. It's kind of like how a South African cannot understand someone from the UK, and a UK and someone from Australia don't always understand each other. They usually ask an American to translate or to interpret. So we do have tape back here in the box. Let's go ahead and cut this out so we can get the darts. So here we have everything that is in the box. We have our 6 darts, we have our blaster, and we have our instructions. That is it. No other bells and whistles. It is pretty basic. So like I said, for $9.99, this is okay. If it was anything more than that, then I might have a little bit of problem because the least they could have done was give us an attachment down here, maybe even a handle or a flashlight, kind of like what came with the NERF Recon. So that is pretty much it. Loading it, again, you do prime it. You load your dart here. Pull that back. It is now ready to fire. And that's it. Now, when we go out to the range, I am actually not going to be using the Accustrike darts alone. I'm going to go ahead and actually bring some standard Elite darts, even maybe some Dart Zone Chili darts, just to see how far this blaster shoots when it is stock. I'm also going to bring my other Falconfire that has been modified with a 7 kilogram spring, so you can see the difference that a spring makes. But now for the range test. Okay, so we're back up in the range again, and I have the brand new, fresh out of the box Accustrike Falconfire stock. It is loaded currently with an Accustrike dart, and then I have the modified one that has a 7.5 kilogram spring in it with a standard elite dart. I'm going to do a volley of shots here using the Accustrike darts. We're going to do an arc shot. We're going to do a just straight shot. I am actually going to load up standard elite darts, and I'm also going to load up the Dart Zone red chili darts. So we should be doing a total of about 6 shots per blaster. So right now I'm going to get behind the camera, and we're going to just see the original blaster, how far it shoots. So with the Accustrike darts, we're going to do an arc shot here. It gets about 63 feet with a straight shot. About 42 feet. Next up are the standard elite darts. We're going to do an arc shot with standard elite. Of course, it does go far and to the right, but we get about 85 feet with this. That's actually impressive compared to what I used to get from my original Falconfire. I think I had an older one with a worn out spring. A straight shot. The straight shot gets right around the same as the Accustrike with an arc shot, so about 62 feet. I'm going to say that with the straight shot, though, we're probably going to get right around 55 feet is the effective range on it. Next up are the Dart Zone darts. These are the chili darts, which are made for range and accuracy. I'll do a straight arc shot. Arc shot, we do get farther than the Accustrike darts at least. We get approximately 75 feet. Straight shot with the red Dart Zone chili darts. About 50 feet. So let's just say that the effective range is somewhere around 45 feet and go from there. Modified with a 7.5 kilogram spring, this is an arc shot using Accustrike darts. So that is approximately 85 feet. With a straight shot using Accustrike darts, we are looking at approximately about 62 feet, 63 feet. So straight shot with Accustrike darts, we're looking at about 55 feet. Now with the inaccurate elite darts, we're going to do an arc shot here. We are looking at approximately 110 feet of a range with an arc shot using the elite darts. For a straight shot, so it did bounce a little bit. It got to about 73 feet after bouncing. So let's go ahead and say about 65 feet with a standard elite shot. Now we're going to go ahead and do this with the chili darts. Arc shot. That is right at 100 feet. It did bounce a little bit, so I'll call it 99. And then the straight shot. That is right at about 58 feet. So I'm going to say that I was actually impressed with how this one shot straight out of the box. Again, when I originally got this one, it was used, so who knows how worn out the spring was. I don't know what it was, what it went through prior to me actually purchasing it. I know that the first time I shot this thing using standard Accustrike darts with a straight shot, the most that I got was about 35 feet down my driveway. The fact that this hit 40 feet, you know what? I misjudged it at first. Fresh out of the box, it was not bad. Of course, modded, it is much better. The fact that we got all the way to over 100 feet with a standard elite dart is impressive. Okay, so we're back from the range, and look, I said earlier that this was a meh gun, at least the first one that I had. As I said, when I got it, it was very used. So it didn't get as good of a range as this one got fresh out of the box, which is kind of nice to know that. I did put a spring upgrade in the other one, and it really got good range. As you could see, that the maximum distance with an arced shot was almost 25 feet more. In fact, I actually measured it out afterwards when I was recovering the darts, and it went out to be 104 feet, which is actually really good. So, that's with an arc shot. Of course, the straight shot got the maximum distance of what this one does with an arc shot using the Accustrike darts. So, I'm pretty happy with the modification. Now, what I believe about this blaster, here are my final thoughts for you, and this goes out to all of the parents out there. Look, this is a good blaster for kids. It is a good size for both parents and, let me just rephrase this. It's a good size for both adults and children. An adult hand can fit on this grip really easily. The trigger's really good. The priming mechanism, it's actually really decent, especially for younger kids. They're not going to have a hard time priming it. I will say that once you upgrade the spring, then it gets a little bit more difficult to prime. But even still, G-Rex has no problem priming it, which that's a good sign. And the trigger, it gets a little bit stiffer, but he also can actually pull it as well. But again, that's with a 7.5 kilogram spring. The one that I'm going to be doing is a 9 kilogram spring, which hopefully we'll be doing that video shortly. I just need to wait for the spring to actually arrive. So my final thoughts on this blaster. If you're going to be going just to do plinking, this is great. This is perfect. It is very accurate, especially with the Accustrike darts. You lose some of the accuracy when it comes to the elite darts, but that's just standard for elite performance. When you do dart zone darts, mainly their chili darts, that accuracy increases again, and the range also increases. The chili darts, like I pointed out, they went almost 10 feet further than the Accustrike darts, which is pretty impressive, especially with how expensive the Accustrike darts can be in a pack. The chili darts, you're able to find those at a Target for $14.99 for a box of 200. The Accustrike darts, when you're able to find them, it's like $12.99 for 30. So you do the math, which is better when it comes to price per unit. Obviously, it doesn't take the genius to realize that 200 for $14.99 is much better than 30 for $12.99. Just process that there. So much more economical to go with the Dart Zone darts than it is with the actual NERF Accustrike darts, and they get better performance. There's a reason that Dart Zone says that they are the #1 darts, period. Again, I'm not bashing Hasbro with this blaster. It is a very good blaster. The Accustrike series, it is a decent series. They are not as powerful as the Elite series, in my humble opinion. Such as the Alpha Hawk versus, say, an Elite 2.0 Eagle Point. I find that the Eagle Point actually gets a better range than the Alpha Hawk. However, the big difference is that you can actually modify an Alpha Hawk without as much rigmarole as you can with the Eagle Point. So, just laying that out there. The Raptor Strike, also decent range, but you can probably get a further distance with other sniper-style rifles than you can with the Accustrikes. However, the aesthetics of the Accustrike series is where it's at. This just looks really cool. It's easy to modify this physically to make it look more like a Mauser pistol. You already have that set up here. Speaking of modifications, I will say that this is a great little blaster to start with when it comes to modification. Once you take out the screws, you take this apart. The plunger tube is literally right there. This splits apart. It's separate pieces for a lot of it, so you can actually paint it if you want to. You saw the other one that I had already painted. The only thing I would recommend is that you don't paint this white section, because that makes it a little bit more difficult to prime in the future. So just beware, just to let you know. There are a lot of internals in here that are not necessary, that if you actually remove a lot of the locks, you will find that when you do modify it, it makes shooting it a lot easier. You won't run into the problem sometimes where when you put a blaster together after you modify it, the locks just prevent you from firing things. You remove those locks, and you're good. There's a couple of springs in there that you don't need. I will warn you that when you open it up, be careful. There are a couple of small springs there that will just go everywhere, and if you don't have a clean workplace, you will lose them like I did. Thankfully, those springs were not necessary, so when I put the blaster back together, I just removed them because they were part of the locking system, and that's how we have the blaster that I have. Now, going back to the modified blaster, the maximum range, like I said, was about 105 feet. The effective range on that is closer to the 60 feet when it comes to doing straight shots. I still, with that, would not take it to an actual Nerf war. And here is why. Primarily because you only get that one single shot. It is a breech load. Let me fire this. Loading it, you kind of have to look to see what you're doing so you don't bend your darts. And there. It is a lot easier to take a magazine, slap it, prime, slap it in, close, and you're ready to go. So that is the big difference. But again, for plinking, this is definitely a great blaster to go for. If you're just playing around inside the house and it's not a serious competition, this is fine. Not so much if it is an actual all-out professional competition. Of course, this does not have the FPS stock for a professional competition, generally speaking. But if you want to take it to a local Nerf Club war and use this as a backup blaster, that's probably better. So, again, I do want to go ahead and remind you all that we are running a giveaway right now. Once we hit 100 subs, one of the lucky subscribers will actually get a free blaster. I have a couple of free blasters that are still new in box. Actually, now 3 new blasters, new in box blasters that I will be able to give away to one lucky subscriber. They don't get to choose which one, but one is a Turbine CS18, the other one is a Phoenix CS6, and it is a Zuru X-Shot Crusher. That is also new in box. That is one of the Gatling ones. Speaking of which, I will be doing a review on one of those soon. Not an unboxing, because I want to keep the new one that's still in box in the box. I got a really great deal on 2 blasters. So stay tuned and we'll actually get to that video later on. Again, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And that way you'll get notifications when the next time I do the video, especially when I modify this bad boy to make it from a okay blaster to making it to a wow blaster. Until next time, this is Secondhand Blasters. Keep on blasting.